let's go over a couple possible grabs from free agency. So, is there any left tackles that you might have been looking at that you think we could maybe get from free agency?
Yeah, so Cam Robinson actually, and he's not a young guy, but he's going to be of value. So on BleacherNation.com, they actually said Kansas City, which is currently in the red when it comes to available cap space, might not be spending at the top of the market. If they miss out or sit out on Ronnie Stanley, Cam Robinson could solve the problem similarly, despite being a lesser talent at this point. However, Robinson is younger and could thrive in a coaching staff led by Andy Reid in Kansas City. And then it goes on to talk about some other potential left tackles. But I think Cam Robinson would be, I mean, he's 6'6", 335. He's a big boy.
He's got the arm span the Chiefs like.
Right. He's a left tackle by nature. I mean, I think he would become what we were hoping DJ Humphries was going to be. And
well,
I
say I think if you bring him, keep DJ too. I think DJ needs to stay to be a voice in the locker room and depth. If he's willing to go for like $4 or $5 million, that's a steal.
Depth, and as a left tackle, he probably can fill in at other spots too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, what about wide receivers? Have you got any wide receivers?
Well, okay, so there's a whole lot of talk about T. Higgins, and I think T. Higgins is great. I think he's great. I don't know that I'd want to spend over $20 million a year on T. Higgins. The thing that scares me about T, so we've seen this. I mean, I've seen this for decades over my time. You've got this team that's got these like three amazing wideouts, right? You know, two or three. And then you think that number two is going to be a good number one. And then you end up finding out after you either draft them, because this could happen in college or the NFL. You either draft them and find out, oh, they were just really good because so-and-so was double covered every time. Or in the NFL, in this case, we could find out T. Higgins is just average if Jamari Chase isn't on the field with him. I'm trying to think of the different times Chase has been hurt and what T. Higgins has done. I should have looked that up before we started, but that's the scare with those types of wideouts. That's at least the scare for me.
See, for me, it's more of a personality trait, right? So he seems to me to be a diva.
Oh, I don't know much about him. Really?
I don't. Well, I mean,
because I know Chase is, but
doesn't he want number one wide receiver money? I believe he does.
I mean, everybody does, though. I mean,
sure,
you can't hold that against him.
Are there? Yeah, but there are definitely arguments that he would deserve that kind of money. I mean, his stats, like you say, they could just be because Jamari Chase is on the other side. But
we don't. Yeah, we don't know. And it could be Jamari Chase is that good because T. Higgins is also that good too.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely. But when we have a history with a diva in this town that we all loved while he was here, right? Tyreek Hill.
Why do you think he's a diva? Just because he wants number one money? I haven't heard any interviews with him, so I don't know him well.
No, it's the attitude. It's the when the Bengals came and played Kansas City and they were the team to beat in the AFC, and there was all the smack talking back. Well, it was mostly one-sided smack talk, honestly, but it was coming from the whole team, and it's really an attitude, and he fits on that team because his personality fits with those guys. But that's not the same personality character that the Kansas City Chiefs are. Now, maybe he would come here and immediately meld in. Maybe he's one of those guys. Maybe he's just a guy that he's going to fit in with the team that he's in, and he's going to assume that charisma, that personality, that character, I think is the word I'm looking for. And maybe he would fit right in. But do we want to take that chance? Some people, I think, would argue yes. I mean, Tyreek Hill, as the one true star in the receiving room, he was able to thrive, and he got his yards. We don't know what the wide receiver room is going to look like totally yet next year. So T. Higgins, let's say that he does expect to get the rock that much, and he's not getting it. What are we going to see then? And
But I mean, that's why I don't even know.
That's what scares me.
Well, that's why I don't even know if DeAndre Hopkins or Hollywood Brown want to come back because of their misuse in the playoffs. I mean, we've talked about it many times. I called it when we traded for Hopkins. I said, I hope Mahomes is ready for this because he's never had a wideout that he could just throw to and they come down with it covered. We saw he doesn't like that.
Sure,
He wants to throw to an open wideout. So I turned out to be dead right there I turned out to be dead right in the fact that that's what type of receiver he was. I was hoping he would trust him more, but maybe D-Hop's saying another year having a full training camp, maybe he would trust him more. I don't know. It's hard to get that locker room camaraderie when you're pulling in people constantly throughout the year because other people that you love and have adored and have bled with are injured. It's a really weird thing our locker room probably went through this last year. So I don't know. I don't know that any wide receiver wants to come to us right now. And where we were looking great last year, free agents just wanted to come to us in droves. I think we've lost that power with our ass whooping in the Super Bowl.
You really think that one game?
Oh, I think so.
Lost
yeah.
us?
Well,
I don't think so.
For wideouts specifically, I think it definitely lost us for them throwing them the ball and them feeling like they're going to be utilized in the offense. Now, Hopkins might just want to, he's like, well, I'm already here and I just want to ring and I'm set for life. I have generational money. My children's children are going to be rich. I'll stay, but I don't want him for, I think he was $15-17 million cap hit on the cap this year, and the Titans ate some of that because it was guaranteed money to him. So, I mean, I don't want to give D-Hop more than 10 mil tops, and I don't even think I want to do that with what we saw Patrick could do with him in the short time. So, yeah, I don't know that T. Higgins even wants to come here. And a lot of people have talked about Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry, man. Cooper Kupp's just he's older. He does get open, but he's not good. It's this. We talked about this last episode. He's the same as Travis Kelce now. He's gonna catch that rock, but he's not taking it to the house.
Yeah, but another set of hands that are as sure as Travis Kelce would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
but you're right. He does have to get open. That's something I didn't really learn until.
He does get open. Like
I
Cooper
didn't really
Kupp
learn that until later in the season. But you're absolutely right. He just doesn't feel comfortable throwing into coverage. And if D-Hop can't get open, now he was getting open. There were times that he was getting open. The problem is he doesn't get open consistently. It just doesn't seem to be his nature. I think he likes the contact. I think he likes that battle, and because of that, if you're not going to do it consistently, you're just not going to be his first or second look.
Well, and the one bright spot, I think Patrick has gotten away from just gunslinging. I mean, he's tried to put it in the right spots. He's doing all the short passes. He's gotten away from just that gunslinger mentality. And at the end of the Super Bowl, I think it was huge that he was able to do so much with Worthy and then throw into Worthy in double coverage and trusting him. And I mean, it's not really trust because the game was over, but the Eagles were not playing prevent,
That's right. They were still in that game.
It was a real defense we were playing against, and I think Patrick saw that, and I'm hoping that he goes back to just gunslinging. Like that's what he does. Stop trying to, put the ball perfect. But I just don't know that. I don't know that getting, I don't know that we want to pay this much for a wideout. I mean, when we had one guy we had to push the ball to, Tyreek Hill, the last year that he was here, our offense was worse because we had to push it to him, and every team knew we were pushing it to him. So I'm not a big fan of that one. What about you got anything for like a edge rusher,
Yeah, Hassan Reddick, who's currently with the Jets. Although, after doing a little bit of reading, I think the Eagles, and I did some reading on this last night, and I did a little bit of looking up tonight before we got on here, and it looks like the Eagles have a really good chance of getting Hassan Reddick back. But as an edge rusher, I mean, he's still at the top of his game. He's an elite edge rusher. So.
I'm looking at it now. He's a freaking 3-4 edge rusher. He's a linebacker, guys. The Chiefs play a 4-3. Who was it we got this from that thought they should fan-sided was our reference?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, why don't these people look up and see it's a 3-4 edge rusher? I'm getting really upset, because I've heard so many people on different media things. This is where actually the ESPN media doesn't fail. Like, they don't talk about taking a 3-4 linebacker edge rusher and putting him at 4-3 defensive end. They don't talk about that on ESPN, but all the content creators do. And I think it's just because they look at stats, they look at sacks, and they think that's the same position. The 3-4 and the 4-3 are completely different as far as linebackers, defensive tackles, and defensive ends go. Corners and safeties are still pretty much the same thing. But no. And he's 30? No.
But that's the talk. That's the scuttlebutt. So your opinion is no.
Yeah,
I would agree.
definitely
I mean,
no.
I would agree, not necessarily for the same reasons. I mean, I think a lot of us are kind of getting bug bit a little bit by the Uche thing, and he did not work out at all. I'm not arguing that you're wrong, Bob.
Look at history.
Just,
these things don't transfer over well.
He's also. I don't see that we have, even with Amenahue not in for the first 3 quarters of the season, our defensive line was good, sometimes better than good. They were never great. They obviously were better with Amenahue, but of all the positions that we need right now, edge rusher is not the one.
Well, I do think we do, because Amenahue is asking for kind of, you were talking about attitude and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Amenahue thinks he's a lot better than he is. It's unfortunate to say that, but from the interviews I've seen, he wants top dollar. And you got to give us a prove it year before you could do that. Like the first year we had you, we didn't have you, I believe, for the first 6 games because you got in trouble off of the field. Then the next year, then at the end of that year, you got injured. I mean, we have to have a show me year if you want to get paid top dollar. So, yes, while I talked about how he was going to be huge coming back, the reason I don't want to grab one, though, from free agency is because the draft is full of defensive ends. And we'll talk about that when we go to the next segment here. But we could get a defensive end and defensive tackle from the draft. Like, the draft is packed with defense. So if we're talking free agents, I really just want to stick with mostly offense, unless it's steals. Like I want to focus on the line.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. I think the Chiefs' number one focus at every corner of this offseason should be offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a couple other names. The one name I did want to cover was Charvarius Ward, ex-Chief, who went to the 49ers for obviously more money. He's still at the top of his game. I think he's 28, 29, something like that, but he's still at the top of his game. He's going to want money. But man, what would he do to this defensive backfield?
And I love
if we kept Justin Reed and Jalen Hicks.
I love
McDuffie
homecomings where players go to another team and realize, the grass is not greener. I'm coming back home. It's
Kareem Hunt.
It's like, Mama, I'm coming home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That. I love those types of stories. Kareem Hunt was an amazing story this last year. And so, yeah, I would be down for Ward to come back.
But it wouldn't be cheap, though.
Well, I don't think it's going to be as expensive. I don't think it's going to be like top dollar, though. I mean, we do need to break the trend of everybody thinking they're going to reset the market. Unless you're the best one in the NFL at that time, you shouldn't reset the market.
Okay, somebody, one of the websites that I was looking at the Charvarius Ward, somebody threw out the number 12 million. Is he worth 12 million to you? I would pay 12 million for
Hell
him.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
Do you think that he would take that?
And
hometown discount, maybe?
It's just it's hard to even know. Like it's so hard to even know at this point because we don't know. I mean, free agency
we have not been covering him. We
even
don't know where
started.
His head's at.
Yeah, I mean, basically the combine is going to answer a lot of questions for different teams because they're going to think, oh, we can do this here, So we'll see. I think defensive free agents. Now, this is something now that I just hadn't really considered. Defensive free agents might be a ton cheaper because the draft is so defense heavy. So that might set the market lower for these types of players. That is a possibility. I hadn't thought about that. Okay.
Yeah, that's. But you're talking about edge rusher specifically?
No, I'm talking about defense. I mean, corners,
any
safeties.
Okay.
I mean, the defense is packed. It is a packed defensive draft, and kind of skimpy on offense, especially tackle. Running back, I think, is the only position on offense that is deep. In this draft.
I had a thought about your Amenahue point. I'm sorry I didn't bring it up when you were talking about it, but it kind of popped in my head afterwards. You said that we need a prove-it year. And I think we need to clarify, he needs a prove-it year if he expects the Chiefs to pay him. But I don't think it's a reach to think that some other team may offer him substantially more than what the Chiefs are willing to offer him. So it is a fair...
If they do, I mean, there is a lot of poorly managed teams, though. There is a lot of poorly managed teams in the NFL, and so that is very possible.
If you have a desperate need, and you see this guy, I mean, he's got a very high ceiling. He's got a very low floor, but he's got a high ceiling, and so his potential, it might just be worth a shot if you're a team that is in desperate need of that position.
I don't see how he could garner top money. I just don't. I mean, he's, he made our line better.
Maybe not top money, but I'm talking about the difference between what the Chiefs are willing to pay and what another team is willing to pay. Because I think based on what you've said in your opinion is he's going to go where the money is. He doesn't care about the ring at this point. Although that's not what we saw on the sideline after they beat the Bills, he's, I played in a Super Bowl. Like, that was his big goal. Sounded like that was the most important thing to him, but now it sounds like it might be the color green.
He has a ring, so
not the ring. Yeah,
he does have a ring, but he got hurt in that playoff run last year,
So
or year before last, I guess I should say now.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Minihue is great. I think he opened up our line. I don't think he's a premier pass rusher in the NFL. I think he was the key to opening up Karlaftis and Jones. And what if we get just an amazing defensive end or tackle? And I mean, we need that defensive tackle and end. I mean, Karlaftis and Jones they're our only dudes. If we wait 2 more years, we're gonna be like, oh shoot. I think we need an end and a tackle. Well,
what is Wharton gone? I think we still have Wharton, and Wharton is damn good.
He's a free agent. Yeah, we don't for sure have him back yet. So I definitely, I think Wharton is definitely one we want to keep. Another guy that has a great personality, and I don't think people understand how big the mental aspect of the game is, and how much it affects players, and how much those just good guys in the locker room can bring up morale. If you have all divas in your locker room, you're the freaking Bengals.
It's fun to win, but man, when you lose, it's chaos.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I think we've talked enough about that. We should probably get on to a little combine talk. This is new for us, guys. We're just letting you know we're keeping it real. We started this podcast this season. We've been really savvy fans, but being a savvy fan and being a knowledgeable resource about a team, we've found out it's a little different, but we're getting better. We're learning every week, and by the time the Chiefs suck and Patrick Mahomes is retired, we're going to be the best.
We're going to be able to pick out the next Patrick Mahomes.
Nope.
Probably out of junior high school.
We're going to be doing this podcast at 60 and be like, you remember back when we had Patrick Mahomes? Oh,
I'm not going to be talking like that in 10 years, Bob.
We'll see.
Nope.
Back in my day. Get off my lawn.
Back in the day.
Oh, you whippersnappers.
We used to walk uphill both ways in the snow. Air. We didn't have air. We suffocated and we loved it.
We knew about payphones, okay? We would get a page and we would have to stop and make a call with a quarter.